In the heart of New York City, where luxury high-rises touch the clouds, stood the Evershine Apartments, a property hailed as a modern marvel. Managed by the ambitious and sharp-witted Lisa Carmichael, it was the epitome of urban sophistication. From its rooftop infinity pool to its automated concierge service, the building promised the pinnacle of city living. Lisa, a rising star in the property management world, had earned a reputation for maximizing profits while maintaining a facade of tenant satisfaction. However, beneath the polished exterior of the Evershine Apartments, critical issues lay, hidden issues Lisa knew about but chose to ignore. When Emily Foster, a bright young graphic designer, moved into Evershine Apartments, she felt like she was living a dream. After years of saving and hard work, she had finally secured a lease in one of the city's most sought-after buildings. The exposed brick walls, expansive rooftop garden, and panoramic city views seemed like the perfect backdrop for her next chapter. Emily's unit, perched on the 7th floor, quickly became her sanctuary. The apartment boasted floor-to-ceiling windows that bathed the space in natural light, offering breathtaking views of Manhattan's skyline. She often spent evenings seated by the window, sipping tea and marveling at the city that never slept. Yet, unbeknownst to her, those very windows held a sinister secret, a secret that would change her life forever. Unbeknownst to the tenants, the windows in Evershine Apartments had long been a point of contention between the building's maintenance team and Lisa. Over the years, several tenants had complained about rattling panes and loose frames, particularly during strong winds. The problem dated back to the building's original construction. During its rapid development to meet high demand, the contractor had used substandard materials for the windows. Lisa had inherited this problem when she took over management. However, instead of addressing the issue, she made a calculated decision. Repairs would be too costly, and in her eyes, the risk of a catastrophic incident was minimal. Emails revealed later would show Lisa instructing her team to prioritize appearances over safety. "We're not in the business of losing money for hypothetical risks," one email read. It was a crisp autumn evening when Emily decided to host a small dinner party. Her friends arrived, laughing and chatting as they marveled at her stunning apartment. Among the guests was Mark, an old college friend with an infectious energy. As the group gathered in the living room, the conversation turned lively. Mark, ever the animated storyteller, leaned casually against one of the massive windows while gesturing enthusiastically. Then it happened with a deafening crack. The glass shattered before anyone could react. Mark lost his balance and plunged 17 floors to the bustling street below. The room fell silent, the laughter replaced by gasps and screams. Emily and her friends rushed to the broken window, peering down in disbelief at the horrifying scene. Mark's body lay motionless on the pavement, surrounded by a growing crowd of onlookers. The police and emergency services arrived swiftly, cordoning off the area and beginning their investigation. News vans lined the street, reporters scrambling to uncover details. By morning, the headlines read "Luxury Apartment Death, Faulty Window Blamed in Fatal Fall." The building's management, led by Lisa Carmichael, was thrust into the spotlight. Tenants began sharing their own stories of near misses and ignored complaints. The facade of perfection that Evershine Apartments had maintained began to crumble. The city's Department of Buildings launched a full-scale investigation into the incident. Inspectors discovered that the windows in Evershine Apartments had not been reinforced or inspected for years. Despite regulations requiring routine checks, maintenance logs revealed repeated tenant complaints about loose windows, all of which had been marked as low priority by Lisa's team. Worse, the investigation uncovered that Lisa had been aware of the issues, but had chosen to delay repairs to save costs. Internal emails painted a damning picture of her negligence, with one memo explicitly stating, "Reinforcing the windows is unnecessary unless there's an incident." The evidence was irrefutable. Lisa's decisions had directly contributed to Mark's death. The fallout was swift and severe. Mark's grieving family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the property owner, and Lisa personally. Emily, unable to cope with the trauma, joined a class action lawsuit with other tenants who had faced similar safety risks. The lawsuits, combined with mounting public outrage, forced the owners of Evershine Apartments to shut down the building temporarily. Tenants were relocated, and the once prestigious address became synonymous with tragedy and mismanagement. Lisa Carmichael's career was destroyed. Once a celebrated figure in property management, she now faced criminal charges for gross negligence. Her assets were seized to cover legal fees and settlements, leaving her bankrupt and disgraced. For Emily, life would never be the same. Racked with guilt over the loss of her friend, she moved out of New York, seeking solace in a quieter life. Her dream home had turned into a nightmare, and the city she once loved became a painful reminder of what she had lost. Mark's death left a permanent scar on his family and friends. The vibrant man who had brought so much joy to others was gone, his life cut short by a preventable tragedy. The tenants of Evershine Apartments dispersed, united only by their shared trauma. The building, once a symbol of luxury, became a ghostly monument to greed and negligence. The tragedy of Evershine Apartments serves as a chilling reminder of the consequences of cutting corners in property management. Safety isn't an optional expense, it's a moral and legal obligation. In the race for profits, Lisa Carmichael forgot the most important rule of her profession: the lives of tenants should always come first, and when that rule is broken, the cost is measured not in dollars, but in human lives. Property and facility management perspective. From a property and facility management perspective, the tragedy at Evershine Apartments underscores the importance of proactive maintenance and adherence to safety regulations. A well-managed property isn't just about aesthetics or tenant satisfaction, it's about creating an environment that prioritizes safety and minimizes risks. Lisa Carmichael's failure to address known issues with the windows was a glaring example of poor facility management practices. Ignoring routine inspections and tenant complaints highlighted a lack of accountability and a focus on cost-cutting at the expense of tenant welfare. A competent facility manager would have identified the defective windows as a high-risk issue and allocated resources to resolve it, even if it meant temporarily reducing profits. Moral perspective. Morally, the incident raises profound questions about the ethical responsibilities of property managers. Lisa's decision to delay repairs was driven by financial gain, but it directly led to the loss of a human life. Her actions reveal a disregard for the tenant's safety, showing how prioritizing profit over people can have devastating consequences. Mark's death was preventable had Lisa acted with moral integrity and taken the tenant's complaint seriously. The tragedy could have been avoided. The story serves as a reminder that ethical decision-making in property management is not just about avoiding legal trouble, but about safeguarding lives and well-being. Legal perspective. Legally, the Evershine Apartments tragedy highlights the consequences of non-compliance with building safety regulations. The failure to perform mandatory window inspections and the use of substandard materials violated New York's building codes, leaving the property owner and manager liable for Mark's death. Lisa's negligence exposed her to lawsuits from both tenants and Mark's family. The wrongful death lawsuit, along with the criminal charges for gross negligence, emphasized the legal weight of a property manager's responsibilities. In the United States, property managers are held to strict legal standards, and failure to meet these can result in severe financial penalties, loss of professional licenses, and even imprisonment. Lessons learned. Prioritize safety over profits. The story highlights the critical need to place tenant safety above financial considerations. Investing in safety measures and regular maintenance may seem costly, but it pales compared to the financial, legal, and emotional costs of a preventable tragedy. Regular inspections are non-negotiable. Routine safety inspections are not just a regulatory requirement, they are an essential part of risk management. Ensuring that building features like windows, elevators, and fire systems are in good condition is a fundamental duty of property managers. Listen to tenant complaints. Tenants are often the first to notice potential hazards in a property. Taking their concerns seriously and acting promptly can prevent minor issues from escalating into major disasters. Accountability is key. Property managers must ensure that all contractors and maintenance personnel are qualified and that work is done to a high standard. Delegating responsibilities to cut-rate providers can lead to dire consequences. Legal compliance is crucial. Staying up to date with building codes, safety regulations, and industry standards is non-negotiable. Non-compliance not only exposes property managers to lawsuits, but also endangers lives. Ethics and transparency matter. Ethical decision-making and transparent communication with tenants build trust and create a safer living environment. Property managers must remember they are stewards of the community's well-being, just the bottom line. In conclusion, the tragedy at Evershine Apartments serves as a sobering reminder of the multifaceted responsibilities of property and facility managers beyond the technical and legal aspects. It is a deeply human story about the consequences of neglecting moral obligations. It calls on property managers to view their role as one of stewardship and care, where the safety and dignity of tenants are at the heart of every decision. If you find this story enlightened, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content on property, facility, and real estate management business tips. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. God bless you.